Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Vance out of Seattle, Washington. Welcome to my live morning Forex trading show. I do these shows Monday through Thursday, usually, and my goal is to provide insight and into logic and execution. To see more of what I'm talking about on this show, when you're looking at the show, be sure and when you run and play the show, just show you real quick, be sure and click on this "Be part of the conversation" right here. Because when you do, you'll actually get to see Forex Art of War right here. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter and find out when the shows are going to happen, you can do that right there. So when you go to forexartofwar.com, if you click on this link right here, what you'll see is the books right here. If you want to find out why most traders fail, 8 things they don't tell Forex traders, you can get that there. And also, just the basics of Forex trading in my book, The First Battle. You get both of those right there. Okay. So I want to stress that what I do on the show is for your educational purposes only. This is not intended to be advice or suggestions about where you should take trades. To start off with this morning on the big bank trades, I did notice that Danske and Morgan Stanley had sell orders. They were looking to sell the euro right up in this area, and so they put sell orders up here, but price never reached up. Actually, Morgan Stanley probably had the closest one. Danske was a little bit higher, but so it appears they missed the most recent drop. I would have thought the way political developments were shaping up in the United States yesterday evening, they would have sold short term, anticipating a stronger U.S. dollar, because it was looking like the business friendly party, or at least those who are perceived business friendly, looked like they were going to be getting control. I also want to stress, when I talk about the banks, I can't confirm the accuracy of the data that I'm sharing. Just got to put that out there. I think it's a reliable source, but I have no way of knowing. And so my intention in talking about the banks from day to day is just to provide education and insight. Okay, in fundamentals, it's like we have the ADP data coming out about right now. It looks like up 230,000. I'm not sure. I'm just looking over my shoulder here. I'm not sure I didn't see what the expectation was, but that looks pretty good. 230,000. Looking at price right now, we're not seeing a massive jump on the euro. We're getting a little bit of a move up. Pound, nothing's moving super fast as a result of this. They revised up the September report, 12,000, so even more jobs there. So that's, again, positive for the dollar. A lot of times what you got to understand about Forex is just because the economic outlook is good, the news is good, it doesn't mean the U.S. dollar is going to get stronger, because part of what happens is investors will pull money out of Forex. In other words, kind of like out of the big bank in the sky, and they'll put it into investments. And this causes the U.S. dollar to actually go the other way, as they would withdraw dollars out of one instrument, and or they withdraw out of dollars and turn that into another financial instrument. So so that's one little thing you just have to get used to in Forex trading. Skipping around here, yeah, it looks like even though the jobs reports are very positive, it looks like, well, it looks very good. Anyway, so it is interesting. It looks like it's much higher than expectation, just based upon what I'm getting in the background here, but not a lot of rapid movement. Let me take a quick at the Australian dollar, Kiwi. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a big market mover today. Interesting. I would have expected faster movement. Okay, so on the fundamental story at large, in other words, in the bigger picture, the story is still U.S. dollar strong, euro weak. Things are not looking good at all in the Eurozone, and current talk on the street is that the ECB won't have enough time to do anything meaningful tomorrow. The U.S. elections that happened yesterday favored those who are pro-business, and that's generally perceived as good for the economy. I know some are concerned about gridlock continuing in Congress in Washington, D.C., but I think the general tone of being more business friendly is an extremely positive development for the United States. So we still have central banks out of the UK and Eurozone due to talk tomorrow. That's Thursday. And then on Friday, we also have those official non-farm employment figures that we'll be looking at. Okay, so now let's take a look at today's price. It looks like I took off my lines I had on here. I think maybe the computer had a cold shutdown, and so some of my lines were lost yesterday. But we were basically looking at 2,500 yesterday, and I had some really great levels, and it went through there. So I actually had a couple of areas. I had this one here showing that this was potentially an area for sells, but if you recall, I said I wouldn't worry too much about that. But the main area we were looking at coming out of was right here. And we were looking at if it come out of here, we were going to get a buyer advantage. And so there was a little bit of opportunity in there. If we go back and look as it came up through, it was moving very fast. So you would have probably had to drop down to a 1 minute chart and been pretty quick on this if you were, trying to trade with the precision that we do. So as you see, what we're looking for is it comes through this level is price advances that are strong enough to trade. And so this one right here starts here. The momentum starts here and moves up only 12 pips. That's not big enough to get in and out with good risk management. There's another move right here that pulls back. If you look closely, once it pulls back and pushes again, it's no good. So we've got to start from here. So that would be a move of 26 pips right there. So there was sort of the golden opportunity right there. This was the trade. Now that I look closely, it looks like it pulled back to 38.2 and made a second push very fast. So on a second look, that would be kind of tough. And then it made little choppy moves up from there. So, really the only way you would have been able to trade this effectively would have been to see the strength of the buyers, have your stop below this level and go for a gain not based upon that particular movement. Let's go back out and look at what's happening now. I want to zoom in on the 5 minute and see what happened this morning. Looks like very choppy moves coming out of here. No real pullbacks there. So probably have to drop down a little bit lower to see that. Really choppy. I don't really care too much for this. Chop, 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 chop. Really chopped its way down. And I guess, part of the reason for that is because, you have the uncertainty of the elections, the uncertainty of what's going to happen Thursday. So, I think that there was, in terms of a medium-term opportunity, looking long-term, our team is starting to look at more longer-term trading opportunities since we have a bit more of a long-term vision. And so, we're working at helping the team to recognize and manage the risk in these trades. And some of us started doing that. So Jose, for example, was practicing one where he entered right in here and he hit his target this morning. So it's purely based upon long-term sentiment. So that was possible trade, just playing the fundamentals and the overall technical money to the downside. Right now, the euro is kind of coming into this level right here, right there. That ends up being the key level. And we have the ultimate low right over here. I think what I'd like to see is I'd like to see this come through very strong through 24.54 and really start making a move for that next big level at 12200. So I'm not going to get too excited about a move through 24.70, but through 24.54, I think not only are you going to, if you come through there with any strength, not only are you going to discourage the buyers that are sitting in this area, but you're probably going to pick up some sell entry orders on breakouts to the downside. All right, so let's take a look at the pound. We had a similar scenario yesterday where we were watching the pound just kind of play with this level right in here. It was about 16,000. It was just inching up. A lot of buyers in this area yesterday, but a lot of sellers here as well. And so just wasn't able to do much. And it tries one more punch at night before it dives down. And I think this was in large part due to the elections obviously swinging towards the pro-business party in the United States, and then we get pretty darn good drop, about 140 pips. Now let's take a quick look at that and see what happened on the way down. If I come out of here, I get a retrace to 38.2 and a second push, and coming down here, chop, 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 looking for the next move. Right here, it looks like there's one. So right here, yeah, it looks like this one is kind of a missed pattern. And what I mean by that is it made this big drop. I guess you could say it made a second push. You can see right here, what we look for as an optimal target is the 5-minute candle body close right here. So that's kind of where the buyers and sellers kind of buy, sell, and reconcile over 5 minutes. This ends up being, the optimal target area. And you also see this long tail here showing you that there's buyers sitting in this area. And so this is going to, right here is going to be, when it pulls back and pushes, right here is going to be the area where it runs into that 50-50 area again, right? Equal amount of buyers and sellers. And so, from here to here, it does make the second push, but it doesn't leave you a lot of room. I mean, that's, how much is that? That's, well, it is 14 pips. So I'll have to take a look and see if any of our traders caught that. So there was possible to get in at 38.2 and get out at the optimal target here. So there was one potential trade there. Taking a quick look at the Australian dollar. I think I'll just kind of pull out on the 30-minute. Yep, a lot of selling. The Australian dollar and Kiwi, they don't move exactly. They don't have the same behavior as the euro, dollar, and pound. And we always trade, I tend to prefer the euro, dollar, pound because there's 70% of the liquidity in Forex trading. And the people who trade it tend to be more steady and more consistent and that sort of thing. When you get off into the Australian dollar and the Kiwi, the New Zealand US dollar, what you're going to find is you're going to find that, different market elements are affecting price movement. You're going to find that, it has a little bit different behavior. So you can trade them just like you can trade any pair. You just really have to be aware of what the elements are that are affecting the price movement of that particular currency pair. You can't just take a system and overlap it and throw it on top. You can't do that. Okay, so let me see what else. Let's drop this down and get back to our pound. Bring that out to a 30 minutes so we have a little bit of a bigger view. We're seeing that price is correcting now quite nicely on the pound, also on the euro. So we'll have to see. It looks like what I'm going to be watching for is I'm going to take a look and see what the central banks, or not the central banks, but the big banks are doing. And I'm also going to take a look at the talk about Eurozone and UK tomorrow. And that'll give us an idea of when we might expect another move down, or if we might expect this to rise up and stay above these important levels. So anyway, I hope that you got just one idea that helps you with your trading. I realize that what I do is a little more advanced. If you're brand new, make sure you get my book at forexartofwar.com. Let me see if I can bring that up. That's right here, just forexartofwar.com. And these two books will really give you a good start in knowing what you should be looking for in Forex trading. To our team, I'm early with the show again this morning. So coming up in about an hour, we'll get together in our live trading room for our members and our team, and we'll continue to watch the market. If I see anything super meaningful, I will post some analysis on forexartofwar.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a great one. Cheers.